Welcome back to the channel. Not sure what the channel name's going to be at this point, but show you unit number 2 for the channel. This is a brand new 2023 850 XMR in the desert tan, or whatever you want to call it. It's got the new LED headlights. I'm really digging those. They're bright. I'm ready to see if we're going to need a light bar or not. If so, no problem. We'll get one of those put on here and everything. Comes with the 3,500 pound Can-Am winch, I believe. Yeah, and but I'm going to get that switched out to some synthetic rope. I don't like the cable. Bad things happen with that stuff. It's coming on 14-inch wheels with 30-inch cryptids, which it's been well documented. Those are really only 28s. One of the biggest things I like about this machine, rad relocate. When it comes down to it, if you're gonna ride the mud, get the radiator up. It's a big issue with this big boy here. It gets mud in that radiator, and I mean, once it gets mud in there, it's hard to get it out and everything else. Back to the 850 though, it's stock. I've got a couple mods that I'm going to do here in a minute to it that I think are a necessity when it comes to these machines. Went with the 850 instead of a 650 just because of if my machine goes down, I want this one to be almost as powerful, and it's mainly going to be for my son. He's 11 years old, and then my wife to ride, and a spare unit for myself. It's got the Fox shocks on it. It doesn't have the reservoirs, but comes with the rear bumper, unlike the 650s. Comes with the winch, unlike the 650s. Comes with the cryptids instead of the Mega Mayhems, which I find that when it comes down to it, skinny wide, they're easier to turn, but they're kind of more tippy. I like having the match wheels and tires where they're the same offset wheels and then the same width tires. Just balance is way better. When I had to make me a little tether here so that the key kit doesn't get kicked off, I've got a set of the BRP wraparound handguards coming for it. Those are coming, but all in all, so far I'm pretty impressed with it. You know, it jumps up. It's got plenty of power, I feel like, and I think it's going to be a good machine for them. It's still got the stock exhaust. I don't know, maybe a while before I do anything when it comes to exhaust to this one, but definitely want to be looking into probably a Dyno Jet 3 and putting on here and retuning it and getting it where it's got a little more pep and doesn't run so lean, and runs a little bit better. So far, this is the 2 Can-Am fleet, part of the fleet of 4-wheelers. I got 2 more there in the garage. They're older and worn out and need some work, and that may be some projects that come about. One of them's kind of got some sentimental value. The other one, in case my wife and son both want to go ride, well, got to make it where it's up to par so they can both ride. So that's probably going to be coming on this channel eventually at some point. But here it is. We'll do a little startup, and I'm not real pleased with this factor that on mine you can put it in neutral and it'll start. That does not work on the 2023s. You can't just put it in neutral and start it. You have to have the brake pressed. Well, if you put it in park, I believe it will start. Kind of a bummer. I like being able to just go from low to high to neutral. But you know, here's a little sound clip. Typical Can-Am exhaust, stock exhaust. I mean, doesn't sound bad, but it's not as throaty. But boy, these new throttles, not having the cable, I'm gonna have to go with that's a game changer. Having the ITC, it is a complete game changer. Like thumb fatigue's not that big of a deal. How this is shaped and the contour of that, you know, not trying to be a wuss or anything like that, but when it comes to, you know, a kid or your wife riding it, I think they're going to be more pleased with that than the traditional old cable style throttle. But we'll see. I'm ready to see how well the front diff locker works. Got a ride coming up here. It's just going to be a little short day ride with me and my son. Really kind of test it out, see how things are. We're not going to go real deep with it and anything like that, but I'm going to I'll make a video of me going through it, and because one thing that I want to do is definitely pull these side panels off, get to the electrical connections, and get some dielectric grease around the seals to help keep water out. Make sure that the throttle body boots are tight. Don't want anything like that happening to it. That's a big thing. One of the, or a couple of the different things that I'm about to do to it, pardon the garage, but it's still a little bit of a mess, is one thing I have found is the bracket that holds your shifter on here. It's plastic. It's right up against the belt box, or not that, the air box. And so what I've done on this machine, and I'm going to do to this one, is this piece of aluminum. What happens with that plastic one, it gets hot. You go to yanking on it, if it's not shifting easy, we all know about the Can-Am rock and the transmission's having a problem here and there. But this just makes it more rigid, so then you don't have that plastic, you know, breaking. The other thing that's about to go on here is I didn't go with the OMC. I found these on QuadLogic's website. To me, it looks like it's the same material, it's just different color, and it's half the price. So if it does the same job, holds up the same, then I mean, I don't see the point in paying an additional $15 for something that costs half as much. I'll be doing a gas cap eventually here pretty soon, just because if you're water riding, that gasket there, it just doesn't hold water out, whereas opposed to this thing, it's got a big old rubber O-ring and nothing's getting in there. Nothing's gonna get in there. So asked my son if he wanted 2-inch riser on his. He seems to be okay with where the handlebars are, so this one won't be getting all that. They moved the trip and the menu buttons. I like that placement. The only thing I wonder is if you'll be able to actually get to, if you'll have problems if you decide to use where they have already marked back there for accessory buttons and stuff. One of the other things I'm going to be doing today is getting rid of all these ugly warning labels. We all know, but they're ugly, and they're going to be coming off here in a little while too. So I hope you're enjoying the channel so far and keep enjoying it. But I'm gonna get this thing pulled back in the garage, pull the side panel off, and start dielectric greasing, changing out the bracket, put this on there. So let's get to it.